I have to go over here since it says starting. I have no idea. Hi, New Day Farm. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, good evening. We're just a few minutes late, so we're gonna jump. Whoa, that was cute. Hope you don't see that. Jump right into this. I think the next stream we're gonna have like a general question and answer sort of thing. This is gonna be Arky and JD. Hi. Okay. I think the last, you can give us some feedback at the end, but this is going to be inspecting your hive. Okay. I did go to, Arky, I did go to Pickerick's channel today and looked at his bee videos. I saw one that I thought was kind of cute. I'll play after this. I didn't see anyone inspecting their hives the way it is taught. We don't even do it that way. In that the traditional way that's taught is to take all the boxes off first and then inspect them one by one, which kind of makes sense, and I'll get more into that later. Okay. So I'm just going to start, since it's a little after 8, and jump right in. And okay. Let's see, where am I here? Uh-oh, wrong mouse. Okay, screen share. And we want to go to applications, and we want to go over here, and we want to go share. Okay, we'll give this a few minutes. There's Arky and JD. Okay, there we go. How to inspect your beehives. And if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to type them in all capital letters, please. Hi, Jerome Bee Farm. And we will, Bee Man has the question answer thing right there. He's going to be answering your questions. So just please type them in all caps. Okay? All righty, here we go. How to inspect your beehive. And this is by the book, folks. Okay? Can everybody hear me okay? Let me see. Where's the volume on this? Oh, it's turned up. Okay. Isn't that beautiful? You should inspect your beehives, hive or hives, on a regular basis. For beginners, every 7 to 10 days during the spring and summer should be often enough. If you inspect your hives more than this, you may find that your bees will not be happy. Keep in mind that each time you inspect your hive, you are disrupting your beehive's activity and setting them back a day. Okay, we spoke about that. Hi, Bob Homestead. Hope you're doing better. You know, it's like somebody coming into your home and rearranging all the furniture. Okay. Before you begin, be sure to have assembled your smoker, hive tube, and if you will be refilling feeders during your inspection, have jugs of the sugar water you will need to do this. After suiting up, it is good to have your smoker lit and pumping out nice. Cool smoke for the bees. Now, depending on how long you're going to be in the bee yard, you may want to have some additional fuel set aside, you know, whatever you're using in your smoker. And we spoke about those various options. As a beginning beekeeper, you may want to invest in some of the little pellets. They're easy to get in. They usually go right down the little spout on the smoker. And hi, Kelly. And they will, yes, you are. Oh, who's live? Okay. Oh, Kelly, you're live. We're all live. If you're live, everybody's live. Hey, you don't watch it live. I just like to get this up so people will have it. But anyway, as I was saying, those pellets are great. And they do the trick for me. Okay? Now, let me scroll down a little. Once ready to open your hive, first smoke in front near the entrance in order to calm down the guard bees. Then crack the outer cover and smoke a few puffs of smoke underneath. Let lay. I spell check this a little bit too, folks. I don't know. My brain. Whoa, caps. I had the caps on. Lay the cover back down gently and wait about a minute or so for the smoke to take effect. Remember, there are guard bees at the entrance, okay? And you're their enemy. So I'm going to go down here. Okay, where it talks about opening the hive, as you can see in the picture, that silver part on top, that's your top box, okay, that I just spoke about. That you open that, give some smoke in there, and then close it and give it, after you've smoked the entrance. How much smoke? Maybe beekeepers who are in the chat can tell you what they do, depending, it could be on the size of the hive. I don't know. I tend to over smoke just because that's my style. No other reason. If I'm going into an aggressive hive, I will smoke them kind of heavy. We have had the practice in past years, which I'm not sure we're going to continue, of having very tall hives. I don't see too many beekeepers with tall hives like that. When we were going active in beekeeping school and whatnot, most of the hives were 7 boxes tall. That's where I got that practice from. But I'm starting to see that a lot of people, hi, Kelly, good to see you. Okay, and is Montez. Good. Okay. And maybe Kelly knows a lot about these, so you can chime in. How high you want to get your boxes, how high you want to get your hives. I don't think we're going to go for the 7, 8 box hive. I mean, yeah, hive height this year. It's a lot. Okay. All right. So you've waited for the smoke to calm your bees down a bit. Go down. Remove the outer cover. So what you're removing is this silver cover. You're taking that off. Remove the outer cover and carefully set it on the ground upside down. Now you can puff some smoke into the hole in the inner cover, if you have one. Wait a minute or two for your bees to calm down. I have never seen a beehive with an inner cover with no hole. I'm sure there are other kinds of inner covers. I don't have experience with them. I'm going down to show you. Here's your inner cover that has the hole right there. Okay. While this is going on, if there's a little bit of wax or propolis in your top box, that's going to tell you a couple things, that your bees are up there and they're active, but you can scrape that out. You can decide where you're going to put that. And remember, we spoke about your bee heart having space. When you take that the top cover off, you need a place to put it where you're not going to be tripping over it. Your bees are going to be getting irate. Well, not irate, but they're going to be active. Might be hot. Okay. You might be a little nervous. And the last thing you want to do is trip on something. Okay. So now you're going to remove the inner cover, which is this part right here where my mouse is. Okay. After you have taken off the outer cover and have puffed some smoke into the inner cover hole, now you will be using your hive tool. A good place to keep this handy is a pocket in your bee suit. We keep ours in our pockets. Otherwise, we're like, where's my hive tool? Where's my hive tool? Okay, it works. If you want to be mindful of that. You will be using it to pry open the inner cover and take it off. That's if your bees have gone up that far and have sealed the top, that cover. And as I said, I really am encouraging beekeepers in the chat. Please post your experience, okay? We all learn together, okay? And B-Man is reading everything right next to me, so he's learning too. All right. A good place to keep this handy is a pocket in your bee suit. You will be using it to pry open the inner cover and take it off. Remember, all movements when inspecting your beehive should be done gently. Now, I feel kind of bad because I watched Pickerick and a friend of his who were going through their beehive, and they were so gentle and they touched, the frames really gentle, and it was just beautiful. And I just, by the time I get to I don't know. I think a lot of it is because we have very tall hives. But I don't tend to be as gentle as my husband or, other people. And I'm going to work on that this year. I really am. Yes, I know, Jerome. I should probably move slowly, but I don't. I'm like, get out of here. I don't know. I'm going to work on that because and I'm going to also, as I said, wear a mask because now that I know about that CO2 coming out and getting them riled up, I'm going to work on that. Okay. If you see wax or propolis on the inner cover, use your hive tool to scrape it off. It is wise to have a place in your bee yard where you will be piling this up. You may choose to collect the wax or propolis in a jar for your future use. I'm going to get that out later. Set the inner cover on top of the outer cover on the ground. Be careful not to crush any bees. Okay? Remember, do your best not to crush any bees. When you crush a bee, is it a pheromone that goes off or?
Yeah.
Yeah, pheromone goes off and they're like, oh no, there's somebody in here killing us.
The alarm pheromone.
The alarm pheromone. Whoops.
Which alarms them.
Yeah, they get alarmed. Okay. All right. As an aside, it was 50 degrees here today? Give or take?
58.
58. My husband went down there. Our bees are flying. And we have, as you see, our boxes are tall. I mean, our hives are tall, way too tall, would you say? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way our bee club does it. I don't know what they're thinking. Oh, okay. Okay, so now this right here, you're taking off your inner cover. Okay. One good thing that they're going to talk about a little bit down in this presentation is your brush. You may want to keep your brush in your other pocket. One thing about our bee suits, they have deep pockets. And that brush is something that you can use to gently just kind of move the bees to the side or off the frame where you're not going to crush them. So now you're going to remove the super. If you have a super, okay, I can't imagine after you install your bees in 7 to 9 days, whether you get a package or whether you get a nuke, you're going to have a super on there. But if you do, let me know first because I will travel to you to see what you're doing. But this is just information for when you do have a super. If you have a honey super on your hive, pry it off using your hive tool and then set it on top of the inner cover. It may help you if you have some type of a stand to place your super on. We use a sawhorse. Is that the name of those things we're using? A sawhorse?
No.
Well, so much for that. What are they called? I thought they were sawhorses. Don't worry, I'll change it later. Okay, now here's your first deep hive box, or your only, whichever. Smoke the deep hive box. Okay, there's your deep. You're going to smoke it. Okay. Gently puff smoke into the deep box, which should be your first deep box. If you have used medium boxes instead of 2 deeps, you will just repeat this process twice until you get to the bottom box. You will always start your inspections with the bottom box. That's something we haven't traditionally done, and we're going to switch that around this summer because what we've been doing is taking off a box, going through it, and setting it aside. And by that time, they're all riled. Okay, the party's over. The advantage to that is we're able to see what's going on. We're able to pull out stuff. We may need to put in stuff. I don't know. It just seemed like there was an advantage, but I'm going to try doing it this way. please input from the chat. And as I say, if
I can't get my comment to.
okay,
It's not.
if you may have too many. If you have, can only put so many there.
Yeah.
If you have access to a medium super or supers, and you're going to need one hive, one deep, okay? Instead of going out spending a lot of money, you may want to start with with what you got. Use what you got. There are kits that you can buy that you can put together. We spoke about this, and then paint them. What the cheapest way you can, if you're handy like that. The kits are all made. Okay. We don't sell comb. I don't know who sells honeycomb. I have no idea. Do we put our honey, a lot of it down there for the bees? Sorry.
No, I'm typing.
Sorry. I remember that, Arky. Okay. Yeah, wax moth. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So you're going to remove that second deep. So gently remove the second deep and place it on top of the super or inner cover. You will inspect it later. So you've conned them down and now you're moving it. Now you're down to the first deep. I'll wait till you get there. This is where your inspection is going to begin. But this does make sense as I'm going through. And like I said, I encourage input from any beekeeper out there that has inspected, you know, because there's all types of different ways. Okay. So now you're in your first deep. You're in your base. You're going to smoke bees and remove the first frame. Puff smoke in between the frames in the bottom deep hive box. Using your hive tool, gently remove the first frame and set it either in a frame holder or on top of the other hive boxes or the inner cover, taking care not to smash any bees as you do. I don't understand that laying down on the inner cover. We have never had a frame holder. What we've done is use an empty super or an empty deep, usually because that will fit both, and put them in there. Or laid one on the side and just push the others as we go. Anybody have any input on which frame they take out first? We always start at one end and work our way down. I noticed watching. Go ahead.
I try to take out the second frame if there's a lot of bees between the first frame and the wall of the box, because if you pull it out, you're going to crush them unless you're very, very careful. So in those circumstances, or if there's comb attached from the first frame to the wall, I'll pull the second frame first.
Well, yeah, and it can get dicey, folks, because between your frame, like your 10th frame and the wall of the hive, they very well may have that built up with wax or something. Okay. Now, so you're puffing it and you're going to take out one. This is where your hive tool comes in. If you don't know how to use a hive tool, I encourage you. You know, we've had some information in our previous streams. You know, the red side, which is usually red, pries up the hives and whatever, or the frames, excuse me, and the other side is for scraping. Inspect the frames. Using your hive tool, carefully pry each frame apart and lift to inspect it. Look for brood, capped and uncapped, larvae, and eggs. Okay. Now, I have to write something down because I have to remember to bring up something that Pickerick had. Just a second. Let's see. Okay.
Jerome, I might have missed what you were responding to because I was checking text. When you say don't set it on the ground, people, I assume you're referring to a frame when you take it out of the hive. Is that Is that what you're speaking of? In New Day, we haven't had experience with top bars. They are different. I don't think we'll be covering that real soon, but we might.
We might. We did have a session on top bars. I don't remember where it was. Oh, I think it was the one on setting up your beehive. Something like that. If you go back through our sessions, it was something like that. We talk about setting up your beehive. We talk about setting it up if you have packages, setting up if you have nukes, setting it up if you have a swarm. And then I think we touched on the top bars on that one. Okay. Look carefully and see if you can identify the queen. She will be surrounded by a circle of worker bees, which I'm just going to take this out. I meant her attendants, but just, okay. And I don't know what the color is this year for queens, but queens, as long as it stays on there, they have a dot on their head, a fluorescent paint, yellow, green, red. I think it's red. I was looking at bees online and I think it's red. Hi, Wholesome Roots. Good to see you. Wholesome Roots is getting bees. Okay. Okay. Now, if you cannot find the queen, it is very important that you find eggs. That means the queen was there the past 1 to 3 days. So if you don't see the queen, you've got to have eggs. Okay. Any questions on that one? That's imperative. Okay, that's very important. Next, and we went over this our last session about the 10 things. Well, actually, it was the 9. I forgot number 6 that mistakes beekeepers make, and that this is one of them. Okay. Check to see if you notice any parasites or pests, such as mites, wax moth, larvae, foul brood, etc. Wax moths are not too common as they up here in the north as they are in the south, and I think that's because our hives freeze them off. They're very prevalent in the south for some reason. Also, something I noticed in going through a lot of research is that a lot of people, when they're beginning a new hive, and I don't know, we have to decide if we're going to do this with our 27 coming in. They have a hive beetle trap set up in there as a precaution. Now that I'm thinking, that's not a bad thing to have to put in there. And, they're very inexpensive and it might not be a bad idea. It doesn't hurt the bees that are in there at all. Okay. Next, check and note how many frames are drawn out. When 7 to 10 frames are drawn in the bottom deep, it's time to add the second one if you have not already. Okay. So if you see 7 frames drawn out, it doesn't mean honey in there. That doesn't mean brood in there. It means that they're drawn out, ready for something. Okay. Time to get something else on top of these bees. Remember, bees look up. Remember, you could have an empty frame on the left. You could have an empty frame on the right, and your bees think they're out of room. They're not going to fill up the hive the way you think they are. They're in that chimney mode. They're constantly looking up. It could have something to do with the extra eyes on the top of their head. I just thought of that. Awesome. However, they work up. Okay. Wholesome Roots, I'll answer this. No, I don't think you can add a box too early, because when you do your next hive inspection, they're not using it, take it off. Better, to me, I feel better to have it on there. Now, those in the chat, you can chime in if you disagree with that. I err on precaution. That's why I feed them. I don't. Go ahead.
No, by the way, on looking up, remember that genetically, bees were in trees before man started, messing with them. So there might be a genetic predisposition to act like they're in a tree.
Which is up.
Which is from ground to the roof.
Right. Bees will swarm. They'll have empty frames on either side and take off. Okay, you'll go in there and see a swarm cell. Like, what's wrong? They've got empty frames. No, they don't think like us. Good, New Day. New Day, I don't know if you're in the north or the south. I encourage you, if you're going to get bees this year, order them early.
I just told them that.
Okay, great. And also, Wholesome Bruce said, Deeth? What was that, a chemical? Dearth? Was it Dearth or Deeth?
Yeah,
okay.
he rewrote it.
That's Rose, I think. Okay.
Sorry.
Now, if the honey super is close to full, add another one. That's an easy one, okay? It's a very easy one. Yeah, they might, Jerome. Oh, Jerome's okay. I got to stay over here. I'm trying to do two things.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Archie just asked a good question there. Okay, I'm going up here, and then we're gonna. Okay, now here we go. This is what larvae look like, and I encourage you to figure out what they look like. Well, I'll tell you. Archie said.
No, I've got it. I'm getting it.
Got it.
Don't interrupt yourself. Okay.
These are larvae. Now, if you look in here, they're round. See the little round larvae? They're not capped yet, but that's what they look like. You can see them. These are worker bee larvae. Okay? You want to see these in there somewhere. Okay? If you can't find the queen, you have to see this or what the next thing I'm going to show you. All right? These up here, this is capped, unless I'm mistaken. I don't know.
No.
Yeah. No.
Oh, on the top. Yes,
yeah, capped larvae. Okay. Now they're going to hatch out of here. But this is the second stage. Below is the first stage. Okay. And here's a new one here. Okay. These are eggs. Now, remember, the kiss of death for all beekeepers, laying workers. Eggs look like thin grains of rice. There should be one in each cell laid in the middle of it. If you have more than one per cell, you have laying workers. Talk to an experienced beekeeper about the situation ASAP. If you look close, here's one. Oop, I clicked on there. And here's one. I mean, the queen knows what she's doing. And here's one in the center. If you see a lot, that means your workers have sensed there's no queen in your hive. Their reproductive system has gone, I don't know how they do it, but they start laying eggs. Remember, they can only lay drones. Your hive is dead. Okay, basically, unless you do something really fast. Okay? Now, I'm going to go up. The best way to see eggs is to hold the frame at an angle. And, you know, we're going to be doing inspections like we did last year. We have better camera equipment. Yay! So you're going to see a lot more. We got a tripod. You're going to love this, folks. Okay. So the best way to see eggs is to hold the frame at an angle, not vertical and not horizontal, and tilt it up to the sky. About a 30-degree angle. So about a 30-degree angle up to the, slant it. Be sure the bright sun is shining over your shoulder. Hold it slightly to the side of you so that the shadow pattern of the mesh from your veil doesn't make the eggs more difficult to see. If necessary, use reading glasses or a magnifying glass, but you have to find the eggs. If you find eggs, look at them. Now, this is something we never tried because I don't think we ever saw eggs when we had those land workers, did we? I don't know. By the time
I don't know. That wasn't the issue.
Yeah, that wasn't the issue. Okay. Now, replacing the frames. You've gone through all your frames and you're like, okay, well, I got brood, I got this, I got whatever. Remember, we spoke in the beginning, folks, you have to learn this stuff before you go into your hive. You cannot go out there with a book. Okay, you can't get on your cell phone and call Sally down the road. Hi, whatever. You have to have this in your brain. Because a lot of times, as a good beekeeper will tell you, or any beekeeper, you may have to make a split, a second decision. You know, run into the house and try to get queen pheromone to hold out a hive or something. You know, you can't, you have to have it in your mind. You have to know this stuff. As you inspect each frame, put it into the open space left by the first frame you removed. Push each frame to the one in front of you of it as you replace it gently. You don't want to squash any bees. Using a bee brush or smoke helps move the bees out of the way, especially at the frame ends. This is ends. Oh no, it's ears, where they are likely to get squished. Inspect frames in order and don't change the order of the frames during inspection. We number ours with a marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 before I start taking them apart. Okay? Just put a marker on there and number them. That way I know what I'm doing. Okay? Remember, you have a lot of variables out there. Once you get really comfortable with this stuff, you're going to have bees flying. You might be sweating. You might see something you don't want to see. Okay? So you might not remember what went what. If you happen to forget, remember, brood and honey usually go in the middle of your frame. Okay? So replace the second hive box and inspect it now using the same method you used for the bottom box. Then replace the super if you have one. Use the bulldozer method. Start with the box on the back edge of the hive, sliding it forward slowly as to not squish any bees. And I have a picture of that coming up. You can use the smoker or bee brush to gently move the bees out of the way, especially at the end when you are almost done sliding the box on. Remember, folks, your bees are going to get to know you. I don't know how they get to know you. I have no idea, but they're going to recognize you. Okay. In this picture here, you see where the second hive deep is going on top of the first. All right. Down here, this is the bulldozer method. He's sliding it back on. I don't usually slide mine. I'm going to try that this year. I mean, I've learned so much. You know, they say if you ever want to learn, the best way to do it is to teach. So that's true. I've learned so much doing this. Okay, so you're sliding the inner cover. This is the inner cover going back on using the bulldozer. Start at one end, and I think I repeated this up there. And then use the smoker or bee brush to move bees out of the way. Remember, it's not going to be like it is in that picture. You're going to have bees all over the place. They're going to be in the edges. They're going to be everywhere. So getting them, hold on just a second. Oh, getting them out of the way is an effort. And, you know, sometimes I gently tap them with my glove and they don't mind that. They really don't like the brush. That's why the higher quality brush you have, the better. Here we go. Slide the inner cover on. Okay, we did that. Now you're going to replace your outer cover. Gently replace the outer cover on the hive. Yippee! You're done. Be sure, oh boy, sure, to record your observations in your bee notebook or journal. Believe me, you will forget the dates and details more quickly than you think. Take off your suit, safely put away your smoker, and take a deep breath. You did it. Okay, now we are going to entertain some questions. If anybody has questions, and we will, whoops, a daisy. Hi. Okay. Questions. Okay. We've learned a lot in keeping bees. I've learned a lot in this research. I've learned a whole lot. Okay. And, you know, I encourage everybody to try to keep bees. You can get a split from somebody. if you don't want to just go out and purchase them. I will tell you that this year might be kind of dicey because getting your bees because of the weather. Oh yeah, just send me an email. The printouts are available. And somebody emailed me. Whoever it was that emailed me for a copy, I got it. If you send an email, okay, to whoops a daisy. Whoops. Here. Why do I have that? Oh, this is one of those days, folks. Here we go. I promise you, because I don't delete anything off of there. That's one reason I did them. I want everybody to have a hard copy of something to read. Now, like I said, don't take this out to your bee yard. It has to be up here. Well, you can take it as a backup, but your bees aren't going to just sit there like la 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 while you're figuring out what to do. And the longer you have their hive open, the more upset they may get. I don't know.
New Day wants to know if the printouts are available.
Yeah, I just put in the address.
I missed it. Okay.
You all have no questions?
Well, they put some in here.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to help?
Yeah, I said I get back on that. Arky Homesteader wants to know about getting rid of about the bees, getting rid of the beetles. I told him about the small hive beetle traps, but you can also use that other fabric.
Somebody said that they use handy wipes or something. Jerome, do you have small hive beetles? Kelly, you know about bees. Anybody else in here? A hive this year? I'll think. Okay, we did a presentation on that, Arky, on how to get a hive. How to get a swarm. Okay. PDF format. Okay, Kelly, but in the meantime, I have it on Pages in the Mac, which they're all on Pages, just boom, 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 the whole series. Why are we doing PDF, Kelly? I'm just curious. Also, that when it gets to people, it will be, I know what she's saying. When it gets to people, it will be in a readable format. Is that what you're thinking, Kelly? I know how to do that. I know how to switch that over. I'll put it in PDF before I email it then. That's easy. Arky, we have, yep. Yeah, I know, because a lot of times if somebody doesn't have a Mac and they open up Pages, although Pages and Windows are interchangeable, might not be right. I do have laptops here that aren't Macs. So I'll send it back and forth and make sure it's going to work and everything, and I'll put it in PDF. That's not a problem. Very easy. Questions, comments? Yeah. There, like I said, there are many resources. There are, we went through some of the channels. Jerome Bee Farm on here, expert. Pickerick One, expert. Grandpa's Place, expert. Kelly P. Her bee man has his hives on her property. She's getting hives this year. Anybody else on here? Southern Arc Homestead, expert. When I say expert, I mean they've been keeping bees for long enough where they've learned. Now I do have a question for you beekeepers. Pickerick had a situation where his bees were dragging out larvae and eggs, out of the hive. Mm-hmm. Anybody ever have that experience? I researched it a little bit, and it was that either when you're inspecting your hives, especially depending on the weather, if you keep the frames that have brood out too long, they may cool off and die, and so it becomes hygienics where they're taking the dead brood out. I do not know what temperature brood, I need to write that down, brood needs to stay at.
92 degrees.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
That's never approximate.
This man, I'll tell you. He just studies bees, 92 brood, 92 degrees bees. So
possibly 93.
And that's like what I saw Jerome saying. You're not going to want to have any frames that have brood or something on the ground, Any more? That there was that situation, and there was something else. It was hygienics. Okay. Does everybody know what the wash tub dance is with bees? Anybody ever heard of it? Wash tub dance with the bees? No? Anybody? Okay. Our mornings. Whoa, no, new day. No.
Yes.
Mornings?
Some people start. They recommend between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Really?
Yeah, because then the bees, most of the foragers tend to be out at that time.
By 10?
Not early morning, like 8 a.m. But the bees will start flying literally at the crack of dawn in the summer. Because I went down there to check.
I thought it was.
But no, they recommend 10 to 2.
Washboarding, yes, Okie. Even the experts say they're not 100% sure what it is. They dance, and it's a cute little dance that they do. Because they're bearding at the same time, I am going to go down when I see the bearding and see if our bees are washboarding when they're bearding. Any more input on the washboarding?
Not for me. That's a new one for me.
That's a new one. Okay. So, are there any northern beekeepers here? Yes, I've got mail. Okay. Anybody in the north? Other than Kelly. Kelly, I know you're in the north. You're going to be with me up here wrapping these hives. Anyone? No? Okay. Let me see. I want to go back over here. Okay. If that's the end of the question. Oh, hi, Cooking with a Little Spice. Yeah, would anybody like to see the video on Pickerick's channel? 1 for yes, 2 for no. It's 2 minutes long. It's not that bad.
No, that's whatever. Yeah.
Me. Okay. Kelly speaks for everybody. Okay.
Okay.
The cute little dance. Okay, hold on. I have to find it. Just whoa, wrong mouse. Okay. Okay, folks, we're going into screen share. Okay, just well, not yet. We're not. Hold on. I have to find it. I don't know if they're gonna be able to see us or not. Ooh, that's interesting. This is really interesting. I keep saying that, right? Let me try down here and see if this is going to do. Options. Thank you. Okay. Now, let's see if I can find Pickerick. There we go. 1. Okay. I don't know what they're seeing, if anything. Okay, over here, bees. Are they saying what they're seeing? I hope the music comes through. Look at this. Oh, for goodness, bees, wash. I'll put bees, wash. For goodness sakes. Queen honeybee. I didn't know if we were going to have enough time, so I didn't. Oh, here we go. Okay. Pause. Open. Now, I'm going to go here. Oh, this is so cool. Let me see. Okay. You got to get ready for this. Where's my screen share? I hope you can hear the music. Share. Okay. Let Let me see. I want to make it big or no? Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, maybe I'll make it big. Let me go over there. Where is it? Ooh. Hold on. I'll make it bigger. Let's see if that, oh yeah, that worked. Okay, here. Okay. Screen share. Application. Here. Share. Okay. Now we got it. Tell me if you can hear the music. I don't know.
They said bigger.
Bigger. Oh yeah. Well, it won't go bigger. You are screen sharing. Nothing's working. Well, I'll just be. Why isn't this playing? My goodness gracious.